All right, so most of you guys probably remember Charles Booker. He was the guy who ran in Kentucky against Amy McGrath in the Democratic primary, who was going to go on to challenge Mitch McConnell. And we all know the end outcome of that race. I mean, it was not even remotely close. Mitch McConnell won 58 percentage about to 38% for Amy McGrath. And the big sticking point of this entire campaign was Amy McGrath, the Democrat, who was running an extremely absurdly conservative campaign. The difference between her campaign style and Booker's campaign style could not have been further separated from each other or taking different paths. And I thought it would have been really interesting if Charles Booker would have gone on to challenge Mitch McConnell. I think it would have been at least significantly closer, but it's still a state like Kentucky. And so a race like this to try to unseat these senators is going to be difficult. So we have some good news here where Charles Booker, it looks like, is running again, but this time he's going to be challenging Rand Paul in 2022. So we can shock the world. Kentucky progressive Charles Booker considers U.S. Senate run. He made a video where he's talking about all the stuff that he plans on, talking about throughout this campaign. So let's go ahead and watch this, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about it.
It's a long shot. Said the movement in Kentucky was impossible. But man, we proved them wrong. As we made our stand together, I could not have imagined the new world we were about to step into. The height of racial tension, the pandemic, and insurrection. While Kentuckians lost their livelihoods and homes, a handful of privileged politicians chose to continue criminalizing poverty. While our loved ones were brutalized, they chose to do nothing. But the movement chose to blossom. In the span of just a couple years, we've seen how quickly a new reality can unfold. How our choices can make a difference. When the power went out, we weathered the storm together. When the pandemic hit, we were there for our neighbors. When our sister's door was kicked in, we marched. Those choices have already changed Kentucky forever. Those folks building walls between us, they're scared now. They saw how close we came to shifting the scales. Our forward motion, knocking them on their heels. And they'll stop at nothing to drag us backwards. They'll lie, they'll cheat, just to keep us from the polls. So our next move is one we must make together. It's a choice to adopt a Green New Deal for Kentucky and ensure a healthy planet for generations to come. A choice to guarantee quality health care for every man, woman, and child. A choice to ensure every person in Kentucky has more money in their pocket. A choice to move mountains and build a society where we all go to bed nourished, where we can all rest easy without worrying about our front door being busted down, where we come together, united, from the hood to the hollow, black, white, brown, to live in a commonwealth where everyone can thrive and reach for their God-given potential. That future is our choice. That's why today I'm formally announcing an exploratory committee for U.S. Senate. We will transform Kentucky. And Rand Paul, you know it too.
Yeah. Charles Booker. Charles Booker is that man. Charles Booker, I think that was an absolutely amazing ad, okay? I think that was really well made. I think he stuck to the script that is going to be a good script or a good narrative that he's going to be trying to run on, focusing in on the policies. Obviously, he supports things like the Green New Deal and Medicare for All and basically the Bernie Sanders agenda. And I think that's something that could work. I mean, again, we saw the polling results. So we saw the polling results between Amy McGrath, who was running an extremely conservative corporate Democrat type campaign, and we saw how spectacularly that failed. And I think something that people forget is that Kentucky is actually a more recently Republican state than people may think. It wasn't always just a completely dominated red state. It is possible that there could be some sort of resurgence of farther left-leaning candidates, but I think that's only going to be contingent on if they are actually running a strong working class campaign. The only way that you're going to be able to unseat somebody like Mitch McConnell or Rand Paul or any of these other Republicans in these red-leaning states is by running an aggressively pro-working class campaign. And I think that's exactly what Charles Booker is doing. He's running a multiracial campaign where he's trying to bring together different communities. He was touching on some of the Black Lives Matter issues. Obviously, that was something that led to his surge at the end of the Democratic primary against Amy McGrath, where he was taking a strong stand as everything with the Breonna Taylor situation was unfolding. And I think that was all good to tie that all together. Overall, again, I think that was a really strong campaign ad. I 100% support Charles Booker in this. And what actually even surprised me is because the biggest thing that led to his defeat in the Democratic primary last time around Amy McGrath was corporate Democrats, establishment Democrats like Chuck Schumer sort of threw their hats in the ring and really jumped on top of Amy McGrath and focused in on trying to force her to win, even though clearly Charles Booker had way more momentum going into the general election. So a lot of these establishment figures were stepping in to step against Charles Booker. And it looks like, I mean, even Jamie Harrison here, the DNC chair, proud of you, Charles Booker. In the face of injustice and inequalities, you are standing up, doing what is right. It's not always easy, but we do what we must to protect our children and safeguard our democracy. Good luck, my friends. So he's even saying good luck, I guess, in a way, confirming that maybe they're not going to try to challenge him in the Democratic primary. Maybe they will. But I guess this is somewhat of a good sign. Obviously, Jamie Harrison is like diametrically opposed to virtually everything that Charles Booker is going to be running on policy-wise. So it's interesting to me that he would be giving this early of a semi-endorsement. But that's good, I guess. And yeah, I mean, overall, I 100% support Charles Booker's campaign. I'm going to put his information down in the description if you want to go read more about the policy initiatives that he's running on, or if you want to donate or volunteer for his campaign. It's going to need to be an all hands on deck approach. Again, it is still Kentucky, and he is running against somebody like Rand Paul, who isn't like a extremely disliked politician in the state. So it's going to be a tough race. It's going to be, you know, really difficult no matter what. But it's a fight worth having, and it's a fight that I would love to see us put our campaign strategy, our idea of running strictly on the policy issues instead of trying to virtue signal and just say Republicans bad, I'm a Democrat, vote for me, actually focusing in on some of these working class issues, some of these policies that the overwhelming majority of the country supports. And so we're going to get to see a trial run here, and it's going to be really interesting. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.